Welcome guys to episode 800 of Minecraft, and I'm using the Better Than Wolves mod. The Better Than Wolves mod is organized into distinct ages. They represent Steve's different technological advances and progresses. So basically we're going to be starting off from the Stone Age or the Wood Age. Basically the first tier is the Wood Age, and it progresses through the Stone and Masonry and all the different stages of life, as you'd call it, in Minecraft. And it's a really big mod, and that's why I'm trying to split it up. I've thought of this awesome way of splitting it up. Every 10 episodes I'll do a Better Than Wolves video until there's no longer interest in the actual video series. Hopefully this series will go well, and hopefully you will smash that like button. My goal is to get 1,000 likes in 1 hour. That'll be an amazing goal to achieve, and maybe if we do that, the way I'm thinking is the next episode will be 810, and then the next episode will be 820, and so on and so on. So every 10 episodes, you'd be expecting a Better Than Wolves episode, and I'm going to do one episode per tier. So one episode may be small, one episode may be a lot larger, depending on what tier we're on. And the first one is getting the ground basics done. We're going to start up a weed farm. We're going to start up a hemp farm. Yes, it is kind of interesting. Very awesome stuff. We're going to have windmills, absolutely everything. So stick around, enjoy, and as always, happy 800th video, and I can't wait to get started. Have a nice day, and this is just the beginning of the video, and I'm telling you to have a nice day. Keep watching. Okay, so let's begin the Age of Wood, Tier 1. It's called Basic Mechanical Power. Alright, so in this tier, you're just going to get ready for all the awesome stuff that is about to happen. Now, the first thing you need to do is craft a gear, which is used by 4 sticks and also 1 wooden plank to create 1 gear, or for example 2 gears using this combination, and that creates you a gear. Now, once you have yourself a gear, what you'd want to create is a hand crank by using a gear, cobblestone, and again 2 sticks. Once you have that, you yourself have a hand crank. Now, the hand crank has a couple of options and stuff that they can do, but basically it is muscle power. Basically, it's not redstone, it's muscle power. And after you craft the hand crank, you'll craft a millstone, and what you need to do is by placing stone around like so, and putting a crank, or not a crank, a gear in the bottom like so, will create a millstone. Now, this is used to create all sorts of things, such as turning wheat into flour, hemp into actually turning hemp into hemp fibers, and it scores leather. We'll get to learn a lot about that later on. And here we have a hemp farm. Now, you may be wondering, how do I actually get this hemp? You may ask. Now, you can actually get it through using a hoe. Now, it depends on what kind of hoe you use. For example, if you use a wooden hoe, there's less likely chance of you actually getting some hemp. Now, if you use a diamond hoe, there's more chances of you actually getting hemp. And as you can see, we got 2 seeds. That's the first time I ever got seeds out of trying to collect the hemp. And I'm just going to wreck up this grass and try in order to get some hemp. Let's see if we can get some hemp, obtain some hemp. Now, you can also obtain them by breaking down tall grass, but it's more sort of affordable and more efficient to actually break down hemp or these grass to actually get it. And there's another seed. Where's all the hemp at? When I was building my farm, I was full of hemp. Now it's not quite as fruitful as it was before. There we go. We got 1 hemp over here, so we've got hemp seeds over here, and we have over here, I've created a nice sort of hemp farm. Now, you can see this is sort of the baby aspects of it, and this is probably the most mature one I have. Now, you have to have the water hydrated. It needs to be this brownish, dirtish, sort of really dark color. It needs to be hydrated. So this is the farm system I'm using. It's kind of small, but I'm hoping that it will get the job done. Now, I have placed my hand crank right next to my millstone. Now, in my millstone, I have wheat in there, and here is the gauge for the millstone. And once I actually use the hand crank, there we go, you can see the ticking sound and also the sort of rumbling of the machine actually working. And the basics of the hand crank is that you need to use your own muscle power, basically. You got to pull it's sort of like a lever. It's actually kind of like a bigger version of the lever, and generates its own power by pushing it back. And as you can see, we got flour out of this wheat. Now you can see it's halfway through the gear, and once we do it a couple of more times, we will get a nice sort of flour out there, and we can craft all sorts of delicious things further on in the tiers. Now as you can see, my hemp farm is growing quite nicely, and I'll show you what you can do once you have the hemp actually harvested. Once you've harvested some hemp, all you do is go over to the actual mill and take out the wheat if you have anything in there, and put some hemp in there. Alright, and use the hand crank a couple of times to actually create some hemp fibers. Now using hemp fibers, you can create all sorts of cool things, for example a rope. And basically a rope is sort of like a ladder. You can climb up with it and have all sorts of fun with it. And here we actually have some hemp. We actually got 4 strands of hemp fibers, and we actually need to create 6 of these hemp fibers to actually create a rope. So one more, there we go, nearly done, nearly done. There we go, one more as well, and are we done? Yep, it should come out anytime soon. Okay, one more. There, and pop off. There we go. So we'll go over to our crafting table and craft ourselves the rope. Now there isn't much you can do with the rope now. You need to create an anchor. So I'll be right over with the anchor recipe. Now truth be told, I actually knew how to craft the anchor. I just needed time to build my sort of anchor demonstration experimentation station, and this is the anchor. Okay, that wasn't the best of things to happen. Now what you need to do to create an anchor is simply by using iron ingot and some stone, like so. And if we get ourselves a iron ingot, if I just type in iron, there we go, an iron ingot should come up like so, and voila, we have the anchor. Now once you place down the anchor on sort of like a high sort of beam or area, you can just break the rope over here and collect the rope, like so. And say you want to go down like a fireman down a sort of crevasse or something like a ravine or something along the lines of that, you can place down the anchor and feed it through some rope, and you can see the rope actually going down. And what you can do is you can hold shift, let go of shift, and slowly but steadily, holding by shift, you can actually stop on the rope just like you can on a ladder, and voila, we've nicely abseiled down to the bottom of the crevasse or ravine, whatever you want to call it. And to go simply back up, you just do it like a ladder. So it's a sort of cheaper alternative, or a different alternative to a ladder. Now, that's pretty cool. That's pretty much what this rope and anchor can do currently in this tier. I'm sure there are multiple things that you can actually do in this, and here we have a fully grown hemp plant. I'm scared to break it because I think it's fully grown, but I'm not quite sure. So you know what, we're gonna break it, and voila, that was a fully grown hemp sort of farm, if I could say so myself. Now judging from how I got 2 hemp seeds, or basically hemp, from that, if I break this one, will I get 1? Indeed, that was correct. I got 1 back, so it's better to do 2 because it saves you time and duplicates the sort of return of it. And I don't think I'm allowed to run on the farm. I think I'm not allowed to jump, but running, I'm not quite sure about that. Now, the next feature is called the Cauldron, and the way you actually craft the Cauldron is by placing a bone and also iron ingots around like so, and placing a water bucket inside the Cauldron like so, and you just place it there. And one cool interesting feature about this is that look at this water bucket. If I just use the water, you can see the original water source block isn't there. It actually disappears. That's another feature that this mod, the Better Than Wolves mod, includes, that sort of enhances Minecraft, makes it a little bit more realistic. Because hey, if you actually throw water on the ground, it will disappear after a while like it does here. It's actually a pretty cool feature, but it's not very practical if you're trying to set up a farm. Now, the way you use a cauldron is quite simple, but really cool. You can see that if I break this block, if I don't have a pickaxe, there we go, and knock off a. Here we go. And you can see here that I have, if I break this, I have a nether brick or nether rack over here. And if I get myself a flint and steel, if I just type in steel, there and set that on fire, what it will do is give a consistent fire for the cauldron, and the cauldron needs to be underneath a fire to actually work. And you can see the white particles now working with the cauldron. All you do is open it up, and it's sort of like a chest. Now you can use this as a chest if you're not working, if you're not planning, if the fire is not working. But all you need to do is drop off your actual food that you want to be cooked, walk off, do your chores, work on your farm. By all means, harvest away. I wonder what's the best way to actually harvest the hemp. Maybe is it to leave one on and then it'll grow back. I'm not quite sure on what's the best way. Hopefully someone in the comment section will actually hand me a tip on how to actually cook it properly. But as you can see, we have ourselves a cooked steak very nicely. It may be a little bit slower than the actual furnace, but it gets rid of the actual use of coal, which may be a little bit annoying over the times actually using coal. And you can only smelt one item at a time, or cook one item at a time, while you can place a lot of things in here and do your own stuff without exchanging and changing all this stuff and worrying about it will run out of coal. Now what I'm doing now is creating filament. As you can see, I got some hemp fibers, glowstone, and also redstone in here, and as soon as that finishes cooking, it will create me some filament. Now you can use filament to actually use in a light block. Now using a light block, what you need is some glass panes, and also some redstone. So if I type in red, and there we go, we'll get some redstone and head over to our crafting table, we'll be able to craft a light block. Now a light block is actually pretty cool. We need 3 glass. What am I doing? We need 3 glass panes and also the filament, the secret ingredient in the middle, to create ourselves a light block. Now remember how I said you can't actually grow hemp underground, and you need to use direct sunlight. You can't use artificial sunlight such as torches and glowstone and stuff like that. Well, the light block actually allows you to create an underground sort of hemp farm, so you can disguise it from the Minecraft police. And all you need to use is a redstone signal. I have here a lever, and you can see this is as strong and as powerful as the sun. If I go switch it over to nighttime, you can see that it is actually emitting quite a bit of actual light. If I actually break this torch, there we go, it still doesn't actually has a really large radius, which is really nice and helpful. Now you need to put this directly under one hemp farm, or actually one hemp, to actually create an underground cave. So the best option, or underground farm, so the best option is to actually use the sun's option, and you don't waste your filament and also redstone in the making. Now this, guys, actually wraps up the Age of Wood tier 1. We've learned all the basic mechanical powers and all the ins and outs of all that, and now the next tier, we're actually going to construct a windmill. I actually can't wait to get in the nitty and gritty of the Better Than Wolves mod, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it, and hopefully you guys will be playing along with me. It's actually pretty cool. I've used Let's Plays to play along in Minecraft, build stuff, and actually get to know the mod. I can't actually wait for this. My 2 sort of main aims are to fully complete Better Than Wolves and also Buildcraft. These are the 2 of my series that I really want to do, and I think are going to be really fun to create, have fun, and absolutely are going to be a blast. So I thank you guys for watching. Thank you for watching my 800th video, and in the sort of intro, I specified how I'm going to do this Let's Play. Hopefully it'll work out well. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it, and as always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and as always, have a nice day.